Have you ever looked at a massive company and just wondered what separates a simple idea from a billion-dollar empire? Well, I can tell you it's not luck. It's a roadmap. And today, we're going to break down the 5 critical stages that every founder has to go through on that journey, from that first spark of an idea all the way to massive scale. So yeah, this is the big question, right? How does that tiny little spark of inspiration grow into a global force? Look, it's not magic, and it is definitely not an accident. There's a path. There's a series of totally predictable challenges you have to overcome. And you know what? We're about to walk that path together, step by step. All right, let's start at the very beginning. Stage 1, finding your business idea. Now, this is so important because this is the single most common place where new ventures fail. I mean, so many businesses are dead on arrival, and it's not because of bad execution, it's because the founder chased some hot trend they didn't really get, or they built something for a market that, well, just wasn't there. So, how do you avoid those traps? Well, there's this really powerful framework we can use called Ikigai. It's a Japanese concept that basically means a reason for being, and it helps you find that perfect intersection for a business that can actually work, that sweet spot where your skills, your passions, and what people are actually willing to pay for all come together. It really just boils down to 3 simple but super powerful questions. First, what are you genuinely good at? Like, what are your unique talents? Second, what do you love doing so much that it's going to fuel you when things get tough, because they will? And third, and this is the big one, what will people actually pay you for? Your starting point, that perfect idea, lies right where those 3 circles overlap. Okay, so you've got the right idea. That brings us to stage 2, building from the ground up. Now, the temptation here is to try and solve every single problem at once. But trust me, that is a recipe for getting completely paralyzed. The real secret to making progress is to focus on and solve only the single biggest problem that's right in front of your face. This whole idea is called the theory of constraints, and this analogy is just perfect. Think about it. Your business is a pipe, and it's carrying money. The flow of that money can only move as fast as its narrowest point, the bottleneck. So your only job is to find that one tight spot and fix it. And when you do, the flow increases, which of course just reveals the next bottleneck you need to solve. And you know what's funny? For almost every business, these bottlenecks pop up in a really predictable order. First, you need legitimacy. Get an LLC, a business bank account. Then it's all about visibility. You got to launch and get noticed. Once people see you, the bottleneck becomes revenue, turning that attention into actual, consistent sales. Pretty soon, you'll hit a capacity wall, which forces you to build a team. That team, of course, creates a little bit of chaos, so you have to build systems to manage it all. And only then does your real bottleneck become growth, shifting your focus to architecting the machine itself. So once your foundation and your systems are in place, you enter stage 3, mastering the skills. And this is because of a fundamental law of business that a lot of people miss. Money doesn't just follow passion or hard work. Money follows skill. Now look, there are a million skills you could learn, but these 4, these are the non-negotiables. They are the absolute engine of any business that wants to scale. So let's just quickly break down what they really mean without the jargon. Let's just cut through the business school fluff for a second. Strategy isn't about some 50-page plan. It's about choosing the right game to play and the right way to win it. Innovation isn't about inventing something totally new from scratch. It's about making something that's already out there 10 times better. Marketing? It's not about just being seen. It's about being chosen. And great sales isn't about pressure. It's just the art of helping someone make the right decision for themselves. This is where it gets really interesting. This brings us to stage 4, what I like to call the billion-dollar leap. Making that jump from just a successful company to a true empire, well, that takes more than a great product or sharp skills. It requires a defense. And that defense has a name. It's called a competitive moat. It's a structural advantage you build around your business that makes it incredibly difficult for anyone else to attack. It's what protects your profits and your market share from that endless wave of competitors who are going to try and copy everything you've built. Just think about the giants for a second. What's Amazon's real moat? It's not just e-commerce. It's their insane, almost impossible to replicate distribution network. What about Apple? It's their sticky product ecosystem, right? Your iPhone, your Mac, your watch, they all work so seamlessly together that it's a huge pain to switch. And Google? Their moat is that vast ocean of data, which gives their search and ad products an intelligence advantage that is basically untouchable. And finally, we've made it. We've reached stage 5, the view from the top. Now, when a company gets to this scale, the founder's job goes through this radical transformation. Seriously, the skills that got you here will not keep you here. Your entire role has to evolve. This little comparison right here, it reveals everything. We all imagine a top CEO is just a busier version of us, drowning in emails, building spreadsheets, closing deals. But the reality is the total opposite. Their job is no longer to do the work. It's to absorb huge amounts of information, think really deeply about it, and then make a handful of extremely high-quality decisions. This is the ultimate mindset shift. At this level, you literally cannot afford to execute. You have to orchestrate. Your output isn't measured by how many tasks you check off a list. It's measured by the quality of your decisions and your ability to put the right people and the right systems in place to make your vision happen. And there you have it. We've gone on the whole journey. We started with finding a meaningful idea using Ikigai, then we methodically cleared one bottleneck after another. We covered mastering those core skills for growth, building an unassailable moat, and finally, evolving into the kind of leader who can steer the whole ship from the very top. This is it. This is the complete path. So now the big question isn't about how to build an empire anymore. It's about you. You've seen the 5 stages laid out, so think about your own goals, your own ideas. Where are you on this journey, and what's the very next bottleneck you need to go out and solve?